Welcome back. Junkies coming to you live on 106.7 The Fan and NBC Sports Washington. And really pumped for our next guest. It's our pal Frank Caliendo, comedian, who's joining us via Zoom. Although I heard the producers bitching and moaning about Zoom in the background, so maybe it took a little while to get it set up. But Frank, are you there?
I am. With Zoom worked. The Comrex line did not. So the Comrex thing is like a high-tech way of connecting us audio, but I'm instead on the phone, and I'm still at a pretty high level. I'm not at the level I would have been, but I'm still still working pretty hard at it. I've been doing my reps. So
you have your own Comrex line?
Yeah, who doesn't? Do you?
Silly. No, we're renting it.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing. You've been working hard though this whole break, man. I mean, you're putting content out there. I mean, a lot of guys probably just shutting it down, not you.
Yeah, I mean, I got going on this a little bit of a creative streak in the last 6 months or so, and just thought, hey, I'll continue that. People seem to really need the content at this point. People have run out of things to do. People seem to have run out of things right away. So I just started going with it, see what would happen, and people seem to like it.
Well, I did like your Irishman. That made me slap my knee several times.
Well, it was meant to be serious, so that really stinks. No, I didn't even do. The weird thing is, I put it together. The first time I put it together, it's The Irishman, but it's about kind of the coronavirus in a way, but it's about toilet paper in the end, and getting toilet paper. But I did it originally as a scene. Is Pacino going, so I heard you hoard toilet paper. Yes, sir, I do. And then I watched the scene, and I was like, after I'd cut it together, I was like, this isn't popping. It's decent, but it's not what I wanted. Then I saw one of the teaser trailers for the actual Irishman. I'm like, oh, this is what I need to do. So I cut it into a trailer. I called my friend Greg O'Connell, who used to do the Mad TV music. He did the theme for Jamie Kennedy, all kinds of stuff. He scores movies, animated movies, Disney and stuff like that. And I said, can you give me a soundtrack that's kind of like what they do in the Irishman teaser trailer? And he was like, yeah. So he put it together, and it came out. I was like, holy crap, this made it 10 new levels better. It's unbelievable. I was really excited about it, and then I put it out. And then yesterday, I put out basically what is the beginning of Endgame with Tony and Nebula playing paper football, but it's me and my daughter, and then cutting to us playing every board game that's known to man. And it was actually the best. It was actually the best Tony Stark impression I've ever done. I tried, but on the bass, it's incredible, amazing. Doing you a favor, doing a little bit right now. Enjoy me while you can. So I put that together, and then I put it out, and then Twitter labeled it as sensitive content for no reason whatsoever.
Why?
I couldn't tell you, because then people embedded the video in their own tweet, and it worked fine. So it wasn't the video, and I couldn't figure out what it was. So somebody flagged it or something. Maybe I blocked somebody the day before for complaining about something. I can't take it when people, block or when people complain about the free content I put out on Twitter. Right. Just don't look. Just don't.
Right. I always say that. It's all optional.
It's not even like if you're listening to the radio show, if you're listening to Junkies right now and you hate me, I guess you can complain about that, right? You can go, I love the Junkies. I don't enjoy Caliendo and his myriad of voices that all blend together.
Nobody hates you. I promise you that.
You're not reading social media then.
Well, that's true. I do not do that.
Are your comments outrageous? Like, what percentage? I mean, Twitter is the worst. Like, people are just so awful. But what is the percentage for you?
I don't know, because I learned from a guy. Have you seen Joey Molinaro, who's a young guy, does a bunch of impressions and some great content. He crushes it. Stuff just goes like when he tweets, he gets likes like he's an Avenger. That's how like he'll literally get half his views will get likes. I've never seen anything like it for somebody who isn't like a megastar in a movie.
Right.
So he's like, mute the people who don't follow you, and that saves you a ton. So then you don't have to deal with all the people who are just trolling you out of nowhere, and it's made it back. Because in the end, I don't really care I guess.
But it does piss you
there's
off for a
piece of it.
second. It can piss you off,
Yeah.
and it can go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, because I just block immediately now.
Right.
Sometimes
you?
I mute.
I
yeah,
should.
I don't need them. I don't need if they don't like me, I don't need you. I'm not trying for
Correct.
you.
How
because I'm not gonna
gratifying is
try-
it? How
Right.
gratifying is
That's
it
a
just to
good
block
feeling.
that person
Yeah,
immediately?
it's got to be a good feeling.
It's in my bio. I block. I used to be a block like a lineman, but now I think it's I block immediately or impulsively. It feels fantastic. And sometimes I would mute them. What I used to do is mute them, and they
But they
didn't
don't know
they were
that.
arguing with no right. But then I thought, you know what? I just love to see that checkmark blocked. I just enjoy it. I get a little adrenaline rush, and I move on. And sometimes I'll comment right before that, or I'll retweet with comment, and then people will crush them that do like me. And it's one of those. I mean, the bad comments are the things that get you. You go, and sometimes there's some truth to it. You're like, I know, but whatever.
Whatever.
Since you're talking about material you put out recently, I think it was only 17 seconds, but your Jim Rome, Jim Everett, Chris Everett thing
Oh,
just
so
slayed me.
good.
Guys, I am not sure how long it was. It might have felt like 17 seconds, but it took me about 2.5 hours to make it right. How great is that? And then people comment like this. It was the 26th anniversary, that date, the 26th anniversary of Jim Everett jumping across the table and crushing Rome.
Right.
And people are commenting like, "Can't you get a relevant impression?" It is. There's that day. Every other day, I can agree with you. That people don't know him as much, I guess, and stuff like that. But that day, it's actually relevant to the situation and the space-time continuum.
It was great. Hey, Frank, I heard you doing an interview on, I think it was VSiN over the weekend, the guys out there in Vegas, and you were talking about you went to a concert with Jon Gruden. I don't know, was it REO Speedwagon or something? I don't know. And he put something on.
No, Aerosmith.
Aerosmith, that's what it was. What was
you
that
can
all
still
about?
You can still find it pretty easily on my Instagram. Just scroll down at Frank Caliendo. If you can't spell Caliendo, it's the letter C, the word alien, and the word do. At Frank C Alien do. And
you
it's so Gruden. I went to Vegas. I texted Gruden's right-hand man, Jeff Leonardo, who used to like drive the bus for the Rolling Stones and all sorts of rock groups.
Right.
And I was like, "Hey, you guys around this weekend?" Because I'm scared to text Gruden directly. I have his number, but I just feel weird about it. Even though, like, when the whole lockdown situation started, Gruden sent me a text, "You doing okay, man? I love you."
Did he really?
Oh, yeah.
Unsolicited. That's cool.
He seems like
Yeah,
a good
that was-
dude, though.
Oh, he's great. He's fantastic. I am scared of him. And so I texted, and they went to a country concert on the Friday night. I'm like, I can't. I'm with my son and my brother-in-law. But if you're doing something Saturday, let me know. He goes, "We're going to Aerosmith tomorrow." I'm like, okay, let me see if my brother-in-law can watch my son, and then I'll meet you out there. So I meet him over at the Park MGM, and then at the theater there, and we go and hang out. Gruden picks up, as we're talking to some people and stuff like that. Gruden picks up his phone, starts looking at it. He's like, "I'm here at the Aerosmith concert, getting ready for it with my good friend, Jon Gruden." "How's it going, Johnny?" And he kept going, "How's it going, Johnny?" And he kept calling me Johnny. And I was like, it's so weird. It was like him. It was Grudenception. It was just so weird because he was doing me, doing him,
Right.
and almost a Spaceballs moment. What's happening now is now. Just a really. But he was enjoying it, and, just to watch Gruden going, "All right, dude looks like a lady for real, man."
Was Jay Gruden there? Did he make an appearance? Did Jay Gruden make a cameo?
I don't make. I guess can I do this? Me to do my Jay Gruden. I don't do Jay. I got to warm up on my Jay Gruden. I did Jay Gruden for on my podcast for a little bit with my buddy. We figured it out, and I can't remember. It's kind of like this. It's almost.
Yeah.
That's a Jay Gruden right there. It's kind of a knockoff.
Yep.
Sounds like I should be on King of the Hill or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what. And why are you talking like that's how I talk, buddy? Come on. That's how we all Gruden. We all make the face, man. I don't make the face. That face is stupid. I'll tell you what, man. I love the face. I would make the face every day I can, man. This is how I look at COVID-19 right here, man, right in the eye. I punched COVID-19, man.
What is what is
Love it.
the schedule going to be like for you? Like we were talking about this, so many industries are changing because of this. To get on the serious side, for a comedian that does shows, like I saw you at Hollywood Casino, I don't know, it was in the last year or so in West Virginia. You know, I don't know how many shows you do a year, but this, like, how do you foresee the future? Like, it's going to be tough to think of people packing in, you know, in stadiums, in you know, comedy shows.
Well, thanks for thinking that maybe I packed people into a stadium. I appreciate that. The reality is, I mean, I don't know. Like you said, why did I get so much on social media and start posting a bunch of stuff? Because I saw, hey, that's the other element. That's the business side of it. Is go, hey, I got to figure out other ways to because I'm making no money on social media. I just
Right.
put it out for free right now. It's all just trying to build an audience back in that regard. And because I was off Twitter for so long, I didn't do any social media for about 5 or 6 years, and I really fell behind. But I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm sure, you know, listen, I don't want to make this sound light, but remember how we all reacted after 9/11. Everybody went into there was a great unity, and then everybody kind of went into a protective shell around themselves. And then after a while, it gradually got back to quote unquote normal with still having those memories. Mm-hmm. But human beings, I think time heals a bit, but things are going to be different. There's no doubt about it. I think some people, I'm flustered because I have friends that are still out and about, and I tell them, get home, just get home.
Right. What are they doing?
Like, well, everything, working out, you know, going play. I'm like,
yeah.
You know, one guy had a gym open still. I'm like, yeah, where? Let's tell them they have to shut that. You can't. There are certain things that, and I'm a nonconformist. I don't want to join be part of groupthink all the time. I'm not one of those people that always like, hey, let's do the latest TikTok together. Right. And I'm not that. Hey, let's join it. Hey, you know what? You know who needs to be seen more? LeBron, guys. That's who needs a new platform for social media. But I'm not. But in this situation, I feel like, you know, and I got to put all that aside and finally go, hey, you got to be part of this community. And the only way it does get better is if we all do our part. And that's a little piece. That's my own little public service message. That's why I've been doing these stay-at-home videos. But I can't take. I see the celebrity ones. They're like, oh God, if you could please just stay home. Okay, Mr. Fallon, we get it. Okay, you know, it's like, I want to see Jimmy Fallon.
It's like the world is ending, right?
It's gonna be great, guys. Stay home, it'll be fine. All right, you do it all together, man.
Frank, have you been watching Donald Trump's daily presser?
Well, I've been doing my own. That's the way. I've been doing my own. I've been pressing the pressures. It's incredible. I love Dr. Faucet's cheese. He's doing a tremendous job. He's a tiny little man. I first saw him in The Irishman. He did a great job there. No, I don't. I honestly, I don't watch much TV or news at all because I don't feel like I'm getting that much out of it.
It's too negative. It's too negative.
Yeah, it doesn't seem realistic. And they change again. I'm not trying to sound funny here. I got to watch these things, but they changed the death toll from 100,000 in the U.S., 100 to 200 to 250,000. They revised that down to what, 60, 70,000, and 60. All deaths are important. I get that. Right. But at that point, I go, well, what did the first one mean? It meant nothing. It meant like it was the same as a presidential poll in August.
Right.
It means zero. It doesn't mean anything. So to me, I think the message is clear that you just go, hey, we do this together, stay home, and I don't care what the stats are in between. I guess I tune in every once in a while to find out, but I have other friends in radio, like you guys, and television, and they have to know. You have to watch more because you have to be at least knowledgeable of where we're at this point. And you might not beat on it the same way some of the other media does, but you have to know it because
Frank,
people are listening to you for that.
You're putting out your social media stuff, and I get it, and you're building your brand that way, and you know you're not doing it for profit. But are you making any cash off your podcast? Is that Or are you doing that for fun too?
The podcast is just for fun still. The eventually want to get that to a revenue thing. It's starting to build now. We started getting some guests, and Kevin Pollak was a great episode. It's called the Caliendo Cast. It took us almost 5 minutes to think of the name. And
how many episodes are you doing? One a week or something? What are you doing?
We go 1 to 2 a week. So we had Elon Gold on, who does like amazing impressions. He turned into Jeff Goldblum halfway through. It was incredible. Pat McAfee was on the other day. I would love to figure out how to do all of you guys on there if you guys are ever interested. It would be a big podcast with our group and yours.
Yeah, anytime.
I love how you can just answer for everybody. As Lurch goes, I'm busy.
Oh, I'm in.
He nailed the personalities, too.
I'm in, bro.
Well, we did. I have a few that are still in the can that we haven't put out. We did Jamie Kennedy, which was really great. Randy
I loved him.
Bauman,
I loved him.
Yeah,
we interviewed him years ago.
Oh, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. He kept doing this weird. Kept going to this weird character. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, I'm just being this real me. I'm like, okay, it's creepy, but it's funny, and I'm intrigued. Randy Bauman, who's a big personality in Pittsburgh, radio guy, got that in the can. So it's the radio guys that have helped me along the way too. I find very interesting. And who else? Oh, we got Lovett's. John Lovett's coming up next week, and it's a killer episode. It's
yeah, he's great.
Jealous? He didn't want to, because he had to come to my house, and he didn't seem to really want to come. And my co-host John Holmberg befriended him earlier, I guess, and he didn't really want to come and do it. And then he did come, and he wouldn't leave. He's like, I'm not going. I wait.
Did he bring his little dog?
Did he bring his puppy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry?
Yeah.
Jerry's my friend. He's like, he tells the story we animated. It's going to be out on Instagram stuff. He's like, yeah, my friend Jerry, my dog, I brought him over. And so, you notice my impression always turns into Norman Macdonald? I'm not trying to do it, but I do subdued John Lovett, and it turns into Norman Macdonald. That's pretty interesting, yeah. That's funny, because I didn't think about that. You do the Lovetts, then you bring it down, becomes Norm Macdonald, and you become Adam Sandler.
Brilliant.
That's quite a trifecta right there.
Oh.
Yeah, there must be a Saturday Night Live type of graph that I just went up and around.
I love it. It was awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so the social media, that podcast eventually, we're starting to build right now. Once we started putting some of the guests on, that even brought more interest, because John and I both do tons of impressions, so we just go back and forth. Like, I'll start doing a bird, or he usually starts the bird. He's supposed to do a Bernie Sanders. I'll drop we're done with the race. We're done with the race. Then I told you to go to bed. Then we'll go back and forth. At one point, we were touching fingers like an E.T., and Trump was in a bicycle in the basket. I'm flying past the moon right now, just like Elliot. This is incredible. So just silly stuff like that.
But look at what Frank's got. Like, he's got his podcast. He's got the soundproofing. He's got the Comrex. You got it all going on.
Yeah, and this is actually my office. I actually have a full-on studio with the microphone setup and all that stuff.
Look at
and behind
JP.
me,
JP's just holding a mic, a handheld.
I know. I thought that was like Mr. Microphone at first.
He's going to do karaoke.
Yeah, do you have that hooked up to an AM frequency to go out to? Do you have
awesome.
Does the cord actually go into a tape deck?
So it's right into the Comrex.
An 8-track. An 8-track.
But that is, see, I can tell that microphone is very light, isn't it? It's almost like you're holding nothing, as opposed to one of the, I think it's an SM58 or and this is what we couldn't get working today. I have one of these as well.
Oh,
nice.
We couldn't get that on the Comrex.
Nice.
But yeah, so I don't remember where I was going with that. Next question.
Well, they're telling us we got to go to break, unfortunately.
What
All right,
time
guys,
is it? Are you in Phoenix? Where are you?
Yeah, it's 5:42. I'm just getting warmed up, man. It's a great day here.
Man, that's
We're gonna
early.
be doing some calisthenics. You ever do calisthenics, man? I love those things.
Frank, you're the
check out
best.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And check out
Thank
the
you,
Gruden
Frank.
thing on Instagram and the
Yeah.
podcast,
Will.
too. Thanks, guys.
We will for sure. Thank you, buddy.
Thank
the
you,
great
Frank.
Thanks, guys.
Caliendo.
Randy, I'm out.
Thank you, Frank. See you, buddy.